Rapid is a framework that helps guide and improve organizations' decision-making. Organizations can become more efficient and productive when they improve their decision-making processes. The letters in Rapid represent the people or roles involved with an organization's decision-making. The main role in this framework is Decide, with each of the other roles supporting it. The roles don't always follow the order in which they're listed here. While the most common order is Recommend, Input, Agree, Decide, and Perform, the framework is still called Rapid. Recommend. The person in this role recommends a course of action. The Rapid framework often begins here, with someone suggesting an action for the organization to take. The person making this recommendation typically supports their suggestion with research. For example, they might suggest the organization launch a new product. Agree. Most organizations require certain people to agree with a recommendation before it can proceed. The person or people performing the Agree role can decline the recommendation. The Agree role often negotiates with the Recommend role to make adjustments until they can approve the recommendation. To speed up decision-making, keep the Agree role to as few people as possible. Perform. The people in this role execute the decision. They decide how to best complete the action and create tasks for themselves. The performers want to act on decisions as quickly as possible to ensure the factors that affected the decision-making process don't change. Input. The people performing the input role provide evidence for or against the recommended action. They perform research to learn the risks involved or how long it takes to complete the recommendation. When speed is a priority, the Recommend role might skip the Input role to make a faster decision. Decide. The recommendation goes to a decision maker. One person usually has the Decide role and the power to determine whether the organization proceeds with the recommendation. If the Decide role pursues the recommendation, they delegate responsibilities to the individuals in the Perform role immediately. DACI, these roles, defined by DACI, make it clear who has authority in certain areas and situations. This allows a project to progress smoothly whenever group decisions have to be made. Driver initiates the decision-making process, often someone with a vested interest or a project lead. Approver holds authority over the decision, typically a manager or stakeholder who approves or rejects outcomes. Contributor provides input and expertise relevant to the decision, actively participating in discussions and offering insights. Informed, kept in the loop about the decision and its outcomes without actively contributing to the process. This role ensures transparency and accountability. The RACI framework is similar to DACI, with a slight change in acronym: responsible, accountable, consulted, and informed. Responsible is those who will complete the work. Accountable is the final approver of the work. Consulted and informed are the same. Responsible. The individuals with responsibility for the task or deliverable is typically responsible for developing and completing the project deliverables themselves. Accountable. Accountable parties ensure accountability to project deadlines and ultimately accountability to project completion. This group frequently also falls under the informed category. Consulted. Consulted individuals' opinions are crucial, and their feedback needs to be considered at every step of the game. Informed. Informed persons are those that need to stay in the loop of communication throughout the project. Let's talk about the difference between all the three on the basis of focus. Rapid emphasizes clarity in decision-making processes by identifying who is responsible for executing tasks, who is ultimately accountable for the decision's success or failure, who needs to be consulted for input, who needs to be kept informed about the decision, and who has the final authority as the decider. DAC. I focuses on decision-making roles and responsibilities within a project or team. It identifies the individual driving the decision, driver, the person with the authority to approve the decision, approver, those who contribute input and expertise, contributors, and those who need to be kept informed about the decision, informed. RACI is perhaps the most widely known and used framework for clarifying roles and responsibilities in project management. It identifies who is responsible for performing tasks, responsible, who is ultimately accountable for the success of the task or decision, accountable, who needs to be consulted for input, consulted, and who needs to be kept informed about the task's progress, informed. Now we will talk about the usage. Rapid is particularly useful when clear decision-making roles need to be established, especially in situations where multiple stakeholders are involved and there needs to be a clear understanding of who has the authority to make final decisions. DACI is particularly effective for decision-making processes where there needs to be a clear distinction between the person driving the decision approver, and those providing input or affected by the decision. RACI is versatile and can be applied to various decision-making processes, project tasks, or activities to ensure clarity and accountability among team members. It's often used in project planning, process mapping, and stakeholder communication.